लॉजिकल इवनिंग एवरीवन। अब मैम श्योर सब लोग पूछ रहे होंगे स्लैट में हो गया क्या सिलेक्शन। तो बेसिकली एक हर्डल तो पास कर लिए हमने। अब बाकी बचते हैं मेरे पास दो हर्डल्स। एक बचता है वैट या रिटन एबिलिटी टेस्ट जिसका वेटेज रहेगा 20%, और बचता है फिर पर्सनल इंटरव्यू जिसका वेटेज रहेगा 30%। तो हमने सिर्फ 50% ही क्रॉस किया। अब यहाँ पर आकर मुझे एक चीज बड़ी बोलने का मन कर रहा है और बोलूंगी जरूर। कहा था हमने बीए एलएलबी करना है, बट नहीं न मानी बात। चलो कोई बात नहीं। अब हम जो चीज नहीं कर पाए या नहीं हुई है उस पर रोने में कोई सेंस नहीं है। अब हम एक स्टेप आगे चलते हैं, हम प्रिपेयर करते हैं WAT के लिए। चलो अब बात करते हैं, क्या सिर्फ स्कोर के बेसिस पे हम सिम्बायोसिस लॉ स्कूल जा पाएंगे? नहीं, हमें ये दो चीजों की प्रिपरेशन की भी जरूरत है। तो आज हम बात कर रहे हैं रिटन एबिलिटी टेस्ट की। ठीक है, अब समझते हैं रिटन एबिलिटी टेस्ट होता क्यों है। और उसके पहले आई एम श्योर बहुत सारे लोगों के मन में सवाल आता है, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ questions regarding what actually is a written ability test. Now, number one, written ability test, breaking down, decoding it. The first thing is you are given 30 minutes, 30 minutes, and you are supposed to write an essay on a topic that they give. Now, in 30 minutes, ko main kaise use karu? That is a question that comes. Like, as soon as the topic is given, I do not jump in straight forward and start writing. What I need to do is structure my approach, as in structure what I need to write, how I need to write, and the whys of what I am writing to be included in that. So अगर 30 मिनट मिलते हैं, when you have 30 minutes, the first 5 minutes you should utilize to plan the structure and the flow of ideas. Once you have decided on the points that you would like to include, or what you do is, this is the part where you think up of the points, you define or you decide कौन सा point कहाँ जाएगा, और flow of ideas रहने की बहुत जरूरी रहेगी. That's in it should appear seamless, ये बड़ा नेचुरली एक पॉइंट से दूसरे पॉइंट से आपके कंक्लूजन तक जा रहा है. बाकी के जो बचते हैं, द नेक्स्ट 20 मिनट्स यू शुड स्पेंड इन राइटिंग, और nowadays what goes on is the typing part, and the last 5 minutes you need to read what you have written और टाइप्ड एंड रिवाइज, एज इन उसको कैसे इंप्रूव कर सकते हैं. बहुत सी बार जब हम सेकंड टाइम कोई चीज को पढ़ते हैं, चीजें क्लियर होती है, हमें और अच्छे मे बी उस एक सेंटेंस लिखा उसको देयर इज अ बेटर वे ऑफ फ्रेमिंग दैट स्ट्राइक्स यू, or you may come across some spelling mistakes. So that's it. The last 5 minutes are basically to improvise and to check whatever you have written is grammatically correct or not. So we need to understand that the length of passage that will need to type or that will need to write is anywhere from 250 words to 500 words. ठीक है, सो दैट काउंट्स टू रफली 4000 कैरेक्टर्स. अगर हम वर्ड्स वाइज देख रहे हैं तो मैक्सिमम 500 वर्ड तक का रहना चाहिए, एंड इफ यू आर लुकिंग एट द इंडिविजुअल कैरेक्टर्स दैट वी आर यूजिंग, देन वी आर लुकिंग एट roughly 4000 characters. Now, right now, what you need to do is you need to get friendly or get comfortable using a keyboard, right? And at the same time, what you need to do is start practicing writing essays or writing on the topics that you come across, or topics that we have curated for you. हमने एक लिस्ट बनाई है टॉपिक्स की जो इस पर्टिकुलर सेशन में आगे मैं आपको दूंगी, so you can start working on those as well. Now, the second or maybe the first question is, why do law schools check written ability test. Why? नाउ आंसर बड़ा सिंपल है ना. आप कितने अच्छे से अपने आप को आर्टिकुलेट कर सकते हो, हाउ गुड यू आर एट एक्सप्रेसिंग योरसेल्फ क्लियरली एंड कोजेंटली, दैट इज व्हाट इज टेस्टेड थ्रू this written ability test, right? Now, clarity and structured thinking is the key to doing well at written ability test. Now, अगर हम कोई भी चीज बोल रहे हैं कि आई नीड टू चेक योर आर्टिकुलेशन एंड आई एम आस्किंग यू टू राइट एन एसे और एनी टेक्स्ट ऑन अ टॉपिक, सो उसमें चेक क्या होगा? सो नंबर वन व्हाट इज चेक्ड इज द क्वालिटी ऑफ कंटेंट. What are the facts that you have used, what is your opinion about it, whatever the facts you have taken, and the topic that is at hand, what is your interpretation or how you have analyzed that particular topic and the content that you are using, what is the conclusion, if it is a topic about awareness, how what kind of a recommendation you are giving, if there's a problem that you have identified in the topic that you have, what kind of solution you are giving. All this is the content that you will be putting in that particular essay or text, and that is what is going to be checked. The second thing, and of course not less important but equally important, is the quality of your arguments. When I talk about arguments here, it does not mean behes wala, debate wala argument. This is something that we have discussed a lot. Argument here would mean your reasoning. So whatever point you have given, what is your reasoning behind that? Are you able to express your reasoning clearly and cogently? Fine. The another thing that is there is coherence, the clarity of language, and of course आपके basic spellings or grammatical correctness become important. Understand that uh, too many errors do not reflect good about you. That shows that you are not comfortable with that language and that is likely to go against you. बट हाँ, इसीलिए आपको आखिरी में 5 मिनट कहा गया है. यूज दैट टाइम टू रीड वॉट एवर यू हैव रिटन, identify any mistakes that have been made with respect to the structure of the sentence or with respect to the spellings. You can always rectify them there, as well as if you can improvise, if you have written something that that doesn't sound too comfortable to you, you always have the time to reframe that, so that will be the part of improvisation. And what should a VAT, your written ability test or your written text should have is an introduction. Introduction, you can start by critical analysis of that particular topic, where you are evaluating the pros and cons of that particular thing, as in the pluses, minuses, advantages, disadvantages. You can use any of the words that make sense to you. And of course, sometimes, and as we have seen it in the passages that we are reading and solving in the uh, course, or to in the written test that we have, the entrance exam, in that case we have seen that many a time the author starts with the conclusion. So you can also start a conclusion, or you can start with a suggestion. So you can go straight to the point. When I start with the conclusion, what I'm doing is I've gone straight to the point that I will be discussing throughout the passage. Now, let's look at the basics of what. So the initial 5 minutes, what you need to do is do a little bit of brainstorming. Brainstorming here would mean that आप लिख भी सकते हैं और mentally भी decide कर सकते हैं. If I've been given a topic, and that topic can have a number of I can look at a number of issues with respect to that topic, a number of aspects to that particular topic. So in the first 5 minutes, what I am doing is I am listing down all the possible aspects of that topic. Once you have listed it down, read it, and then you can always think of how to begin that particular aspect and how to end that particular aspect. And in between, what you will have, what is called in the world of writing, the body of the topic. So you have the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. So in the first 5 minutes, think of different aspects of a particular topic. And then, of course, we can talk about structuring ki kahan kaun sa jayega. Now, uh, one shouldn't jump to a particular side straight off. What you need to do is, as far as possible, take a neutral stand and give both the pluses and minuses and put them very clearly. So, well, the crux is that you, as far as possible, remain neutral. So that shows that you have taken both the aspects in consideration, and you are not as such coming to a particular point. Towards the end, you will summarize, and in that summation, you can always give your opinion or your thought, and you can take a stand, but not initially. अगर ऐसा कोई टॉपिक ही है जो क्लोज एंडेड है, एज इन इट हैज टू बी आइदर यस और नो, एज इन या तो मैं इसके फेवर में हूं या तो इसके अगेंस्ट में हूं, वहां पर वो चीज ली जा सकती है. बट अराउंड 95-97% ऑफ द टॉपिक you can start off as neutral. You can look at both the pros and cons, and towards the end, when you summarize, you can give your opinion. एंड हाँ, जो भी आप लिखोगे वो प्रवचन भाषण टाइप नहीं लगना चाहिए. इट शुड कम अक्रॉस एज इफ यू हैव डन अ थरो स्टडी ऑफ इट एंड दिस इज योर ओपिनियन, not that you are quoting anybody. And if it's like a close-ended one where you have been asked to to identify, to give a solution or something, so you can always write down your suggestion or find a solution. If you have a topic that is more on awareness, you can always talk about strategies to spread the awareness of that particular issue. And remember, creativity is something that goes a long way. Creativity, when we are talking about giving a solution or giving any kind of recommendation or suggestion, but make sure that whatever solution or recommendation you are giving is practicable, something that is feasible, and not very random, as in how to solve the traffic issue. Simple सी चीज है that come up with draconian laws. No, that won't reflect good on your creativity. Okay, there are certain do's and don'ts when it comes to written ability tests. So let's look at what can be done to make things better. So the number one thing is, make sure that you manage your time well. It may come across that you have very good, you have written pretty well, but you somehow, you know, you took up more time on the thought process, brainstorming, and you didn't have enough time left to write, or you didn't have enough time to check or go through whatever you have written. So you first thing you need to do is manage your time well. Remember, brainstorming kariye, jot down the points or the different aspects of that particular topic, and then you start working upon it. And when you list them down or jot them down, you won't miss out on any important point. Okay, and I always say that you should, whatever you're doing it, try and make sure that you do it right the first time. So while you are typing in your essay or the text, make sure that you pay attention to grammar and spelling so that you do not make a lot of mistakes. Remember that simplicity is the key word. The simple it is, the easier it will be to express yourself, the easier it will be for the reader to comprehend, and easier it will be to be, convey your clarity of thought. वो बहुत important हो जाता है. And don't be too pessimistic in whatever text that you are writing. Express positivity. Okay, be optimistic in your writing. Now let's look at don'ts. नहीं करने हैं, ध्यान रखना है, राइट? बहुत ज्यादा टेक्निकल वर्ड्स मत यूज करिए, बहुत ज्यादा बोम्बास्टिक वर्ड्स मत यूज करिए. डोंट बी मैग्नीलोक्वेंट. Try and write in such a way that a layman is able to read whatever you have written and is able to understand it. Now try and not bore. Now try, because you'll have to be mindful about it. Okay, so don't bore the readers with your personal experiences, or bombastic language or bombastic style. Just make sure that you are able to quote facts from reliable sources, and you can always use your legal knowledge to substantiate whatever you have written, as in to make it stronger with respect to examples, reasoning, opinions, etc. Now, don't try and use many words. ऐसी कोई भी चीज जो सिंपली 2 या 3 वर्ड्स में एक्सप्रेस की जा सकती है, एक सेंटेंस, go for that. Don't try and make it verbose. Keep it pithy. Keep it short and simple. And obviously don't beat it around the bush. उससे बहुत negative image होता है, as in you don't know what this topic is about. So be very, very, very incisive, to the point. Keep it short and simple. Now, how can I ace written ability test? Let's look at that. Now, as soon as you are given a topic, understand and analyze that topic. पहले आप समझिए टॉपिक क्या कह रहा है. Be careful while reading it. No silly mistakes here. So understand and analyze the topic that you are given, and then take a very logical and rational stand to it. That means you do not get emotional about it. You do not jump to conclusions. You do not immediately ये तो गलत है, ये तो बहुत सही है. No, you are taking a rational stand out here. And follow the structure that we have done for it. 5 minutes to think through, 20 minutes to write through, 5 more minutes to read through it and improvise. Besides that, introduction, body, and conclusion. And make it easy to read and easy to understand. Fine. Then no using difficult words. यहाँ पे magniloquence की बिल्कुल भी जरूरत नहीं है. Keep it short and simple. Use your legal knowledge, because it will help you go a long way with respect to the reasoning that you do, with respect to the facts that you use, with respect to overall the arguments that you will be using. Right? Now, always remember, you need to start well but end better. And conciseness, to the point, short and simple is the key. And always end with an optimistic note. And there are 3 C's to any kind of writing. The first one is clarity. Clarity rahega. Basically, if I'm able to express myself clearly, means my thoughts are clear. If my thoughts are clear, that means the content is there in me. And the content is, I understand the content very well. That is what is reflected. Right? You need to be mindful about clarity while you're writing, because it becomes important that the reader is able to understand whatever I have written in exactly the context that I want him to understand. वहां पे एम्बिग्विटी रही तो वो कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट करती है, एंड दैट इज गोइंग टू डिफीट आवर पर्पस कि हम एक पर्टिकुलर चीज पर सामने वाले को कुछ समझाने की बात कर रहे हैं. सो बी केयरफुल इन द यूसेज ऑफ योर वर्ड्स, in the selection of your words, and in the number of words you use to express any particular sentence. So be careful about that. Next one is coherence. Coherence is basically how I'm keeping the entire text together. So when I talk about introduction, I talk about body, I talk about the conclusion, वो एक continuous flow में रहना चाहिए. It shouldn't seem as an introduction is ending abruptly and then I'm coming up with an example in the body to substantiate whatever point I've made in the introduction, and then all of a sudden the conclusion comes. No, it has to be a gradual, definite flow to the ideas that is required. Okay, and that flow should be clear in your writing, that the connection from one thought, say from introduction to body, or 2 or 3 points or thoughts that you have used in the body, they need to seamlessly flow into one another. And that can be done by using transitional words and phrases. So transitional words as well as however, nevertheless, these are all transitional words that make the flow of ideas smooth. So, and then we have the third C, that is conciseness. Brevity is the wit of soul. So we are talking about being economical with words. जितने जरूरत है उतने ही यूज करिए. You don't have to show off the vocabulary that you have. You don't have to show off anything. You just have to show that you are capable of writing clearly and cogently, clearly and rationally. That is what is required here. Now, we have a list of topics that are suggested for WAT 2023. Let's look at those. So we have impact of social media on law and society, impact of social media on freedom of speech and expression, impact of social media on personal relationships and mental well-being, impact of AI, that is artificial intelligence, on employment and society, digitalization and its impact on traditional industries. Again, we are talking about going the automated way. Then we have environmental conservation and the roles of individuals in creating a greener future. The importance of mental health awareness in educational institutions, cybersecurity and data privacy concerns in the digital age, the challenges of providing legal aid to the poor and marginalized, the need for reform in the criminal justice system, the need for greater diversity in the legal profession, the importance of legal education in promoting social justice, gender equality and women's rights in contemporary society, secularism in India, is it losing its relevance in the contemporary times? The significance of entrepreneurship in driving economic growth in India, promoting diversity and inclusivity in educational institutions. Now remember the do's, don'ts, keep it clear, or I would simply say keep it simple and short, as in it should be clear, it should be marked with coherence, and it should be concise. Manage your time well. Keep these three things in mind, and I'm sure you're going to conquer SLAT. So, here's wishing you good luck. Thank you, everyone.